The purpose of the Ellen Gray Orbis Foundation is to cultivate high-impact entrepreneurship, seeking out young people with the potential to change the world. Nurturing this potential using our ecosystem of partners, programs, and resources. We introduce active mentoring to support our candidate fellows, helping them to think beyond their studies and towards their future.
How do we learn from different people's perspective? I think that's the key aspect and the key piece that I've learned.
There's a lot of value in having a thorough sounding board, especially now that I'm not moving from university to working and everything else. Having someone who's already done that transition has been very, very helpful for me.
The reason why you enter into a mentorship is so that, first of all, you shorten the learning curve of the mentee. Number two, you take your own networks, you give them over to this person.
Mentorship was a really powerful part of the foundation program. Just being able to share my thoughts with a mentor and get a lot of guidance at that early stage in my 20s allowed me to form a lot of perspectives and really understand the world a lot quicker.
It's good to have someone who's maybe seen some of the challenges that they've seen before and to talk through the decisions that they have to make, and it's useful to talk to someone who's been down that road a bit.
It brings in a fresh perspective and you see things in a different way that you would not have seen it had you just been processing something by yourself according to your own mindset.
When I was studying, I wish I had actually had someone to talk to, and I also had someone where they can actually tell me it's okay to feel stressed, it's okay to feel like you're not doing anything right.
It gives me that sense of knowing that should things not work out the way I want them to the first time, I'll still be okay because they went through that and they were okay.
So I think what makes a mentor-mentee relationship successful is one, purpose. So understanding why both of you are there.
I think the mentee has to be very, very proactive.
There's a lot of value in the mentee preparing carefully what questions and issues they want to deal with.
Introduce yourself, set an agenda. You be the one that sets the time and say, I want us to meet once a month. They will avail themselves when they see that, okay, like Mpo's really interested, she's really hungry to learn and really, really want to get the most out of this.
It's a two-way, it's a relationship. We both hold each other accountable, and it's like we contribute 100% of our time and the attention to each other.
You have to listen. Asking a question rather than giving an answer is maybe always a little bit more powerful.
It requires someone to actually open up themselves to your mentor so that I can get to know you and then I can decide how to best support you.
For example, with my mentor, I noticed that I learned most from her when she was just being herself. Sharing her story, saying the mistakes she made and what she went through, I found that to be more beneficial.
My original motivation was to contribute something alongside Alan. So he set up the foundation, it felt like an amazing thing, and lots of us at Ellen Gray wanted to help alongside him.
I think there's a lot that I've learned from my mentors, but I think at the same time, as much as I wanted to try to help someone navigate their life in certain circumstances, I wanted to learn from a different perspective. I wanted to engage with someone who is younger than me, who's perhaps a little bit less experienced, but definitely not in terms of character and in terms of attitude.
I like to listen to other people's stories, and it is very rewarding if there's a kind of a little piece where you can help. All of us want to be useful in the world, and one way of being useful is to apply what you've learned in someone else's life.
This is an experience that was so beneficial to me personally. I think in becoming who you are, certain people play certain roles, and I wouldn't be the person that I am had they not played the specific roles that they had to play in my life. So I'd want to do the same for someone else.
You have to pay it forward. That's very important. And I think for me, even on a more personal note, it's mentors who look like us. It's important that they have mentors who are at different stages so that you don't just see the success, but you also see someone who's going through it and now you're able to learn through them and their journey.
Mentorship finds expression from a deep and profound place because you are sharing willingly. You're not doing somebody else a favor. You do it because it's a moral obligation. So Lift As You Rise says you don't have to wait until you are the MD to mentor somebody else.
The ability to access a network that's far beyond mine, the willingness of people to plug into my life, teach me skills, and for me to be able to pass that on, I've learned from my mentors. It's given me a lot of confidence and willingness and desire to give back.
I plow back specifically on the black child so that they know that it is possible, especially from the townships. It's possible.
Having these role models that you've got, that you've learned from and that I've learned from, all of them have been part of some sort of engagement where they've tried to experience or explain something that they've learned and values that they've seen to someone else. And I think that's where I want to be.
If I can make a difference between someone being a high impact entrepreneur and not, and there's a chance of that at 20, there's a chance that I can, that's a big deal.
You're just not doing your 8 to 5 job. You actually, there's a bigger purpose, there's a bigger thing that you're doing. You're actually influencing someone's life.